Hello guys and welcome to Master Coding channel. My name is Abbas and I'm going to continue with the Android Jetpack course. In this tutorial we will continue making the entity for our room database application. And we are building, so remember, we are building an app that makes and takes the note, delete and update these notes for the user and display them in the main activity. So if this is your first time here, please subscribe below and hit the bell so you don't miss any new tutorials. We are doing this tutorial based on your requests, so feel free to comment below if you have any requests or just saying thanks. The entity represent a table within the database. So room creates a table for each class that has an entity annotation. So it is very important to figure this. At entity, this annotation is representing the entity inside the room database. So the fields in this class correspond to columns in the table. Therefore, the entity classes tend to be small module classes that don't contain any logic. So remember from the SQLite database that we need columns. So entity represent these columns. So every module class with the annotation entity will have a mapping table in DB. So the foreign keys, names of the foreign keys, indices, the list of indicates of on the table, primary keys, names of entity primary keys, and the table name. So we have many entities like foreign key, indices, primary keys, and table name. Ignore embedded, column info, and primary keys also. Now let's move to Android Studio and see how we are going to create the model or entity class. First of all, we go to our Java folder, and I'm going to create a new package just for making it simple to read, and we edit the code. Room DB app, and I will make a new folder called room DB or note DB. Okay, and this folder we are going to make also a package, a new Java class, and this will be called the entity class called Note, which is the model class. It is representing the model class that the variables will be implemented here. So as I told you, entity represent the table name. So we are going to say or to write the table name constants dot table underscore name underscore note. So I'm going to create a new class called constants. Constants with the table name, making a new table name note called table note. So here we have table name constants. So I'm going to create a new class called constants. So here, open Java file and NodeDB, Java class called constants. You see that the error here has been solved, and now I will create some variables. So private constants, private, making the constructor constants, and this is the empty constructor, and I'm going to create some variables: public static final string table underscore name underscore note equal to notes. In this way, it is easier to re-edit edit the files and the names of the strings, the tables, the DB, and other database entities. DB, and it is here essential to be an extension of .db. So after that, we are going to go back to our note. I will close the main activity and the note, and I will implement, this is the table name note, and I will implement the serializable. So what is serializable? It allows you to make the constants and the entities and the exact name. So here at a primary key, as I told you, I will give it an auto-generate equal true. I am telling the Android Studio that this column will be called primary key, and it is auto-generated. So long note underscore ID will be generated. So this is the first column. I will annotate it. The columns. First of all, the primary key called note ID. This is the first column. The second column will be, column name will be a note content instead of content in the table. So at column info, and I will specify the name equal note underscore content. So the column will be content, not content instead of content in the table. So private of type string and content. So just for information, that the name of the column will be not content and not the content. It would be the not content. So the name, here we specify the name of the column, and other variables, private string title and private date, and I will import the date, and here we go. We are clear to start making the variables, constructors and getters and setters. So first of all, constructors. Okay, I will click Alt plus insert the constructor, and I will select the content, string content. I will select the title also, and I will specify this dot date equal new date system dot current time millis. Okay, this is the first constructor. I will annotate the second constructor, ignore public note, and here we go, the second constructor, and here we go. We are going to make the getters and setters. So first of all, we specify public date, get date, you can also click about for the getters and setters and return date. Second one is public void set date, because I'm going to specify every single element for that, so I didn't use the getters and setters used by the Android Studio. And here we go, the date. The third one is public long get note ID, and we will specify return note underscore ID. So are going to specify the set method for this, public void set note ID, and I will pass the long note ID underscore ID, and I will specify this dot note ID equal note ID underscore. Now here we go, we have finished the date and the ID. We still have the content and the title. So public string get content and return content, and public void set content. I'm passing the string content, and this dot content equal the content. Now the third one, the fourth variable and the last variable is the title. So in order to do that, we are going to create a public string get title, public string get title, and pass. We didn't pass anything, and return title. And public string set title string title. They are the setters and getters and title. So we have finished the getters and setters. Okay. Okay, so we have finished the getters and setters, and we are going to create some Boolean functions like public equals, like we are going to override equals. Okay, what's happening? Just to consider that. Okay, just here we need to specify this as void because we don't need to return a statement. Now I am going to override a Boolean function called public Boolean and equals. And here we go. I just try to override. So I will click Alt plus insert, override methods and equals. We need this Boolean function. Okay, so I will remove this, specify the object called, and if this we are testing that if this this function will contain any object, so it will return true if the object does not, or O, the object instance of node, if does not equal to the instance of node, it will return false. It's very simple, just checking for the if we have an instance of node. Okay, and here we go, node and O. And last thing, if the node underscore ID does not equal to node, to the node dot node ID, return false, because we are checking if there is no ID found in our database, so it is checking that the node ID is presented, and we can edit according to the ID of the node. So go null title, is it equal to the node dot title, and node dot title equal to null. So we are checking here if the title also, and returning the title. Now here we go, and we need this, and I'm going to add, or also override a hash code int result equal, I'm casting it to int, and node ID result equals 31. I'm just adding my algorithm and specifying its times the result plus the title does not equal to null, and title dot hash code equal, or 2 points, and return result. Okay, till now just adding some algorithms for multiplying and adding the IDs of the node. And the last one is called to string, and adding to string, return to string. To specify it, we are going to create node okay plus node underscore ID equal plus node underscore ID plus, we are specifying some codes, content equal, specifying plus content and plus, I will add them to increase the speed of writing, and I will paste it. So till now we have finished. This is the symbol used inside the strings, and here we go. We are going to add to string and confirm it, returning the whole statements and the whole node as a node string. So till now we have created in this video the entity we specified the table name, the columns, and we specify the primary key, and we have added the constructor and added the getters and setters, and we have added the equals function that will specify if there is a note object or not, and the hash code. We're adding some algorithm for our function, and a toString to return this note as a block of string. Now we are moving to the next video, so subscribe below to get the latest tutorials, and rate us 5 stars on Udemy, and don't miss to download Master Android application from Play Store, and Master Flutter and Master Android Pro. Thank you guys, see you in next videos.